Warning: if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
We'll just chat a little bit about the Prem from last weekend, a little bit about the Champions League going on,
and about the game coming up this weekend.
What the game is coming up this weekend? Man City Arsenal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you were referring to or being serious or not right there.
Why not? We'll talk about it and then we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Londoner Calling podcast. My name is Ben Drabick, joined by Barry Tate. Barry, I ask it every day. How we feeling?
It doesn't matter how I'm feeling. Any single women out there, okay? I'm single. Ben, I'm getting desperate, mate.
I was about to say, that's a hell of an intro.
Desperate.
That might be my favorite intro.
I'll tell you what, I'm so desperate. All right, any nice blokes? Fuck it.
Jesus. All right. Well, that really, no comment. Let's go to the football. Over the weekend, Barry, a lot happened. Let's start where I want to start, which is Arsenal versus Tottenham. Tottenham come into this one, I would say the favorites for the game, actually, with the injuries Arsenal had. Due to the injuries Arsenal had, because you think about it, we're missing our entire starting midfield. Marino was injured in training. Rice is suspended. Odegaard's hurt. So we started a midfield of Trossard, Partey, and Jorginho. I'll tell you what, the mood around the Arsenal fan base was not confident going into that game with that midfield and that trio. But we did what we always do, and we go to their place, we take 3 points, and send them home crying. Now, Tottenham...
Can you not score other than set pieces? Because that's all you're doing?
Well, the fun part about set pieces is they count the same as any other goal.
Is that what it is, really?
Yeah, they actually do count the same.
Obviously, a bit of flair.
We're doing good.
Let the tallest geezer on a pitch head it.
You could score set pieces, you take
old
it too.
School, that is.
It is old school. It is very old school the way we do it. Tottenham, worst start in 9 years, 4 points through 4.
It's weird because I'd imagine last season was the best start.
It was. They went 10 straight wins last season. Yeah. Now they have 4 points through 4 games, including a loss to their biggest rival on their home turf already.
4 points for 4 games.
Yes.
Okay. Point a game.
Yes.
How many games in a season? 30 odd?
Yeah.
They're going down.
Yeah. That could. They're on pace. I am starting to see rumors online of, is Ange the right person? Is Ange the guy to bring us forward?
Last time he was their hero. I've got another Tottenham fan in Ange we trust.
Yep.
And I like to see the fella. I want him to... As much as I fucking hate Tottenham, I want him to do well.
Yeah.
Well enough where he don't get sacked. I don't want to win fuck all.
He came out after the game and he doubled down on something he said earlier, which is, I always win trophies in my second year at a club. So I think that he's either going to go down a cult hero if he wins something this season with Tottenham, or he's going to look like an idiot. He kind of made that divide himself by really doubling down on his statements of, I always win in my second year. I always
it's a good thing to say, but you need it, and you need to build the faith and all your players.
Yeah.
If you go in there, I don't know, we're going to struggle.
Well, again,
this year.
they had a scrappy win in the Carabao Cup against Coventry. Coventry are
I
not
just
a bad
saw that
team.
yesterday.
They went up 1-0 on Tottenham.
Yeah.
Tottenham didn't have a shot in the first half. Ended up scoring 2 late goals to win it. And again, I was talking to my friend who's a Tottenham fan, and he was like, we played like shit. We look awful. What a terrible team. I go, look.
Did they put out a weaker team? I didn't.
It was a little weaker. Yeah. It was a lot of rotation, but still, you're Tottenham. They're Coventry. You know the divide.
But Coventry did well in the FA Cup.
They
so
did.
Obviously, they're a good fighting.
But
at
at the end of the day, you know who should win that game.
Yeah.
Tottenham should feel they're the favorites to win that game, even with the slightly depleted squad. And my friend, he was upset.
Shit, I was meant to. Fuck.
You're good.
No, I came on in here. I was meant to call Russell, the Man City fan.
Yeah.
I told him I'd call him and wake him up.
Yeah.
From yesterday's game, he fell asleep.
Oh my God! Yeah,
yeah. I was meant to wake him up. He's probably late for work because of me.
He's probably still sleeping
from watching that shit.
Yeah, but as I was saying, we can move on. Actually, we can go to Man City because Man City Arsenal is this coming weekend. Massive game, obviously.
Where's it being played?
Sunday. It's at Man City.
At Man City.
At Man City. So it's at the Etihad. Arsenal actually play today at Atalanta.
They do, don't they? And City played yesterday, so you get a day less.
They get the extra day rest, and we have extra travel too because City played at home. We play in Italy. Yeah. It is, and especially since Odegaard still won't be back. Marino likely won't be back.
They said he's out for a few weeks. He's got a bad ankle.
He's going to be out for about a month, maybe 2 months. Yeah, it's not good, and that's why I hate international for you.
Yeah.
Hate international break. Hate it. It happens. But Calafiori is back for us. He missed the Tottenham game as well. Our new Italian defender.
Is he a new buyer?
Yeah, he was one of our 2 purchases this summer. I don't know if he'll start.
So are you going to go there and just try not to lose, or are you going to try and fucking win?
I don't know
what
we're
going to
be
like last year.
We try to win every game, to be fair. So I'm going to be interested to see.
Do you really?
Yeah, we've conceded in 2024 on the road.
Just fair enough, but last year
We tried to win.
You didn't.
Yes, we
try
did.
Not to lose.
Just because the strategy was set up defensively doesn't mean we weren't trying to win. I love when fans are like, Arsenal sat there and played defensively against City, blah, blah, blah. We're the first team to get... No, hold on. We're the first team to go to City and keep a clean sheet when they were at home in well over a year. So I love that everyone's like, we've all gone and tried this and it didn't work, but you did something different and it did, so let's make fun of you for not being more attacking. Nobody else has succeeded where we succeeded, yet everyone is so loud to tell us how to play. Make it make sense.
It's called entertainment.
It is.
But it fucking isn't when you watch you shit play City.
So should I rather say, man, we should go be more attacking knowing that we'll concede more goals?
No, of course not. I mean, I get it, but nonetheless, you didn't go to win. Fuck off. Right,
Either way.
Change the subject, otherwise
right.
make me mad talking about that crap.
Chelsea with a big win this weekend. The late goal settled it. Nkunku.
Who scored the goal?
Nkunku.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that's
He
it.
did.
Because I'll tell you what I did like was Sancho.
Yes,
he
Sancho
came on. He
played
put a good,
well.
A good
Sancho played really well.
He did. He did that, and he seemed to link in with whoever the left back was. He did well.
Paulo?
No, the Cucurella.
Cucurella.
Him and them, they seemed to link well together, and that so it'd be interesting.
I think it's a good move so far. I think that he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. He just needs...
You were talking about players. Sometimes managers, some players you can give a bollocking to. Some you have to put your arm around and love them, even if they're playing like shit. Sancho is that type.
He needs the arm.
You've got to show him some love, and you'll get something back. Ten Hag
was not doing that. Ten Hag was exiling him, shunning him.
But surely, as a manager, you've got to know. Him on loan. You've got to get to know your players, and the ones you shout at and the ones you don't. It's just how it is.
Yeah. One more big thing from this weekend was the upset at Anfield with Nottingham Forest, former Chelsea boy Hudson-Odoi with the screamer, and they beat Liverpool.
I'll tell you what, no. If you ask Jono, that wasn't an upset.
Yeah, well, I'm
sure.
He
expected it.
I'm sure. But Nottingham Forest are still unbeaten in the Premier League this year, and we're sitting in September now.
They're up there... I forget what position they're in, 6th or something.
They're doing really well. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they will regress and find norms, but winning on the road at Liverpool.
So you're saying when after Christmas, Forest are going to become Spursy?
I don't think they're going to be in European places contention this year. I think this is a great start for them.
No, but it's got to be better than last year.
This is huge for them. Yeah, this is even
1 point.
Any points that they can get at the beginning of the year stacked for the rest of the year.
You know that because the earlier you can get them, the better, I suppose.
Exactly.
Because later on, when you get your injuries and other stuff happens, and you're begging for points, you can't get them.
Other teams coming and they need points, so they're going to go harder against you. And
well, you know yourself now. You can lose a game or 2 games, but if you look at Everton, I mean, fucking lost every game, haven't they?
Yeah,
you lose every game, but I'm sure in the back of your mind as a player, you go, there's plenty of time left. There isn't. So they never think, okay, there's plenty of time. Get it done now, because plenty of time will be later on when you're playing like shit.
Yep.
and you're nervous and you can't play your game.
And it's all the pressure's on you.
And it all goes against you.
No, time flies, and that's something that we'll bring up too. We have a guest coming on today, Nick Barclay. He's a Leicester City fan. We'll get to that interview shortly.
Why do you keep saying Leicester? But he's also Plymouth Argyle.
He said he identifies with Leicester more than Plymouth.
Well, he does, but he mentioned Plymouth. Mention Plymouth because none of the people listening to this know who Plymouth or where it is.
Would you like to inform them?
Jono does.
Okay, there you go.
Jono knows everything.
So, actually, let's just get into that interview, guys. We're going to jump straight into this interview with Nick. Make sure you stick around for that. Hello and welcome into the interview segment of today's episode. Today we are joined by Leicester City fan Nick Barclay.
Yes.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks, Ben.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
So,
and Plymouth Argyle.
And Plymouth Argyle.
Green
Army.
How does that work following 2 teams?
So, well, I was born in Leicester, so I've been a lifelong supporter of Leicester City through thick and thin, although we've had some good moments in the last decade.
Had some great moments, yeah.
But we live down in Cornwall, so the nearest football team or pro team, actually it used to be Torquay, but they got relegated. They're in the conference or something. And then Plymouth, we were only 10 miles from Plymouth, so we used to take the kids to...
So is there
to home park?
No problem with that? You're just supporting both clubs?
Well, just supporting them because you're living in close to Plymouth. So
what happened if they play each other?
Well, luckily they didn't.
Well,
so.
what happened if they do?
No, I'm Leicester. I mean, I was born in Leicester.
Leicester
City.
If you had to pick one of your foxes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just... We used to take the kids there with their little Green Army signs to home park and have a pasty at half time.
We've been talking about that, about going to the lower leagues and the non-professional teams. I actually prefer that. You got a club down the road, even like it's really nice.
No, it is. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, lower leagues, grassroots football.
Yeah.
I mean, my son Nick, he played for Luton FC. I used to love going to the football games.
It's good,
standing on the touchline, arguing with all the other parents.
And like you said, have a Cornish pasty.
Yeah.
And he said most of the people who do that are volunteers anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the funny thing is about Plymouth, because it's like, it is the only football team in the West Country until you get up to Exeter, or further north you get up to Bristol Rovers, Bristol City. But Plymouth, that's it. So most of Cornwall and Devon support Plymouth. So and everybody seems to know each other. It's that kind of, everybody stands in the same place. Oh, hey Barry, you're here again. You know, whatever it may be.
No, I noticed that. I used to call games for a semi-pro team in Denton, Texas, the Diablos, and the fans you would see, they got a good turnout for a semi-pro team. Everyone knew each other. It was wholesome. Everyone was friends. You'd have kids running around with flags when they scored. It was way different. It was minor, obviously, compared to a big team in the stadium and stuff, but it was really cool to see that, like, oh, like, people still love this. And
they do love it, and it's a lot more affordable too.
You know, I was looking the other day, AC Milan were playing
Liverpool, yeah.
There were so many empty seats in the stands.
It's too much football, almost.
They're priced themselves out there.
Well, let's talk about that, because the new Champions League format is here. Obviously, it's different than the one we're used to. Now you just draw different teams. You play home or away. We don't play back-to-back or a team one way and away. You could play, like, I think Arsenal play today at Atalanta, and then we host PSG, but we don't go to PSG. Yeah. What do y'all think of that new format?
I don't know. I think we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I mean, it's more football. It takes away from, like, domestic leagues, I feel like, more games. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on whether it's good or not until it's a bit further down the road. I guess it's good that it's better for teams that maybe aren't like perennial favourites. So like Celtic last night, they never won a game, I don't think, or an opening game, Champions League, and then they thrash whoever they were playing 5-1. So I think it gives more people more chance, but in the end, it's going to end up with the same thing.
It's always going to come down to the typical.
So I think it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a way to make yet more money out of football.
Do you guys think there's too many games being played right now?
Well, they were saying the players, they're talking about.
Yeah, no, they were talking about last. Yeah, they were Bernardo Silva and I think one of the other ones.
Yeah, Rodri.
They were like saying it's going to go on strike.
They should start.
Wait a minute, I'll take your job. Give me your boots.
They should start right now. They should start striking right now. Take Haaland and De Bruyne with you. Really make a statement and don't play Sunday. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I mean the other thing is they got a massive squad anyway, so it shouldn't really impact them.
They won't strike.
But actually, I mean, the more games the merrier for me because I show soccer. It's like American football. You get 6 months?
Yeah, you get
16 games.
You get Thursday and you get Sunday and you get Monday.
Even that. But here, I'm the longest I ever have to wait is a month before it all starts again. Because we had the Euros, then you got the World Cup, then you got the women's. So we're constantly.
I think from a pure football fan, like if you're just watching on TV or whatever, it's great. Or like for us, we can't get home to the Champions League games. Yeah. So for us living in America, it's perfect. The more football, the better. But I think if you're like a Man City fan. Like you said last night, there were loads of empty seats.
Yeah, and you see the injuries racking up too. Over national break, obviously, Odegaard, De Bruyne got hurt. Nathan Ake from Man City got hurt. We'll play with the Netherlands. I'm sure there's countless more. But that's my real concern for the year. Not is there too many games. It's too much load management for the players.
Too much load management and too much money for. If you're a hardcore supporter, you want to go to the game.
Really I mean, I don't know how they do it.
I think you just have to pick and choose which games you really want to go to.
You really do at this point because there's so many, and then you throw in on top of these Champions
League. I've never been able to do that with women.
What?
Pick and choose.
Yeah, you get them all. Take them all.
Was there, yeah.
You're a monster.
They all ran away.
But I forget the point I was going to make.
Yeah,
but still, there's tons of games. And you saw the Carabao Cup also being played this week on top of the Champions League games.
There's everything this week.
At least they've eliminated the replays, haven't they? In that to cut
they have.
Can
you imagine years ago it would be a replay and it wouldn't even be penalties? It'd be another replay.
Yeah, no, they keep on
until someone wins, basically.
But they didn't have all the other games then. There's a lot more games. So, like when not to brag a little bit.
No, go for it.
But when Leicester won the Premier League in 2015-16, we were out of the cups in the beginning. We weren't in anything. All we had to do was play one game a week.
Really? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, that helps. I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't.
It does help,
But everybody was like, they're going to fold. Tottenham are going to catch up here. But we won 10 points going away.
Yeah.
But
the point is... expect that, did you?
No, I didn't. I wish I'd been brave enough to put a few quid on it. 5,000. But... that's all we had to focus on. One game a week. I mean, we played pretty much the same 11 every Saturday or whatever day we were playing. Yeah. And it was just a dream season. In fact, I just moved back to Dallas. after spending 15 years living in Cornwall with the kids growing up. And I was able to watch every single game, home and away, here in Dallas before they started having Peacock and everything else. They were all free then on whatever channel it was on, I don't know. But
so what's your favorite, other than apart from the Premier League and the FA Cup, because we know that's your recent success, what's your favorite memory with Leicester?
So my favourite memory is they go way back. So my dad used to take me when I was a small boy to Filbert Street, the old ground. And so I remember standing on the terraces there, because there weren't really any seats back then. It was all like stand on the terraces. There might have been a few seats, but there might have been some seats
it's
like
maybe
on
the
either
ones
side,
at the top
but used generally in the stalls, right? Yeah, all standing.
Fucking freezing.
I remember that, and I remember like the people like Frank Worthington and Keith Weller and those guys
I was
from
going
way
to say
back.
Keith Weller because he went to Chelsea.
Yeah, no, he did. So I remember those days as being that was sort of got my interest in football, going with my dad. Another interesting sidebar to that is my granddad was a dentist, and he used to do all the teeth for Leicester City football players.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. So a lot of history. My gran lived in Leicester all her life. I was born in Leicester. So yeah, Leicester's home really, and so that's where it all began. Love of football.
Wow.
And then
any particular game you remember?
Or player that was your favorite?
I think so. Keith Weller was a great player. There was a guy, one of the backs, John Schoberg, I think, played in the back. And then, don't forget, we had like two of the world's greatest goalkeepers. We had Gordon Banks, and then after that we had Peter Shilton. So we had Alan Birchnell on the left wing.
He was a Chelsea player as well.
And Frank Worthington, he was like one of those.
He was a flamboyant. He used to wear cowboy hats.
He was a great player.
Charles was talking about him when we had another Leicester City fan. He was talking about Frank Worthington.
Yeah, so I remember that. I remember what I remember a lot about Leicester is we'd be doing well, and then we'd be going down again, and up and down and up and down. I was saying to Ben before we started recording, I always feel like I don't care about that so much. I'd rather go up and down and win the Premier League and the FA Cup than be 10th or 12th and never win anything.
Yeah, you're always in the
like
same.
Spurs,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not a Tottenham fan. I'm Chelsea.
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, you can slander
Spurs.
Spurs.
Okay, yeah.
Slander
No, but
Spurs
it's
all you
true.
want.
So when people go, you guys, I don't care. We won the Premier League.
Yeah.
You can't take away.
There's nothing else for you to do. You've done it.
So we've done that. We just won the championship. We just came straight back up 1 year down.
Did you ever go? I know the championship obviously was the old second division.
Yeah, right.
Did you ever go below that?
I think we went down another league. I was looking up ahead of this actually. We went down into what was the old Division 1. So we've been down all the way back down. And then now we're back, but we looked like we were going to get a massive points deduction.
Yeah,
but
you escaped that one somehow.
Our Leicester City owners must have paid well their lawyer because they found a
Some
little
good
loophole.
lawyers for real.
But that whole financial fair play
It's
and all
a joke.
that. Yeah, no,
It's
it's
a
a
joke
joke because people are just bending the rules all over the place.
Chelsea are.
Chelsea bend the rules, City bend the rules.
Yeah, I don't know what was the matter with it before that. I don't know. I mean, was there an issue with all that? I mean, it's like if you're a bigger club and you got the money.
Wasn't it the same thing here with the NFL? That's why they put the salary caps and everything else in place, because people like Jerry Jones were buying the best players and doing it all.
I mean, that's the thing though. It's not always the most expensive squad that wins in soccer. I feel like obviously Man City win everything, but they're not the most expensive squad. I think Man United is, or Chelsea might be at this point because if you count all 50 of your players.
We got the fellow that helps us do the sound, Larry.
Yeah.
He's actually here. He got here late today. Unforgivable, but he's at the door. Larry, come on, mate.
Come on, Larry.
There we go.
Mate, I've got here all the way from Leicester City and you're late.
You only live down the road and you're the last one here.
Down the road, yeah. That's right.
What made you come over here?
So I was working at Grosvenor House Hotel on Park Lane in London.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Nick's the chef, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him in Dallas.
So in 1984, I got a phone call. So backtracking a bit, I was working at Grosvenor House, big 5-star hotel on Park Lane. Done my apprenticeship there. 6 years hard labour that was.
No.
A lot of people dropped out on the way through that programme.
People don't realise, when you're especially old school.
Old school was brutal.
It was actually like it was. You say hard labour. It was like being in the army.
Yeah, it was. It was all the initiation thing, the stuff they used to make people do.
Jeez.
And then of course once we weren't the first year apprentices, we'd move up. Now we're a second year apprentice. We'd be like trying to stitch up the new boys.
Yeah, that's what everyone
says,
right?
So it went on. Anyway, so Downtown here in Dallas, Plaza Americas Hotel was built in like the early 80s. I think it was completed in the early 80s. And it was a Trust House 40 hotel, which owned Grosvenor House and Hyde Park Hotel. It was a massive, big hotel chain at the time. So a couple of the guys from Grosvenor House had come over here because Trust House were open in Plaza Americas. And back then in 1984, most of the top chefs in town were European. You know, the French, German, and all that was really before the American food scene really took off.
How to cook.
Yeah, well, it took off. So I had a phone call one day, and they're like, it was my old sous chef, right bastard he was as well, at Grosvenor House. He's like, hey, Nick, you fancy coming over to Dallas, Texas? And back in 1984, all I knew about Dallas was who was about to shoot JR. Yeah. Because that was like the Game of Thrones of the 80s.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, yeah, okay, great. So
that was it.
I came over. I thought I'd stay for a year, and like 17 years went by.
That's how it always goes, isn't it? I'll just be there for a minute, and you're there forever.
But coming over then, I mean, as I said before, I came over in 89, and we started the pubs in 1991. You couldn't find any football then, could you?
No, nothing. We used to drink at a little bar called Mimi's up there on Lovers Lane. That was where all the Europeans used to go. We might be lucky if they had a recording.
That was Zoo, wasn't it?
Yeah. Way back. So that's where it all began. Yeah, I mean, and then I'd go back and forth a lot to England. But really, when I was living with 5 other chefs in a 2-bedroom shoebox in London. Right? And so like we were 5 of us, but we only had 4 beds, so whoever was last.
Yeah, last to go to beds on the floor, yeah.
So who was your bedmate?
Jeez.
Move over, son. So I came over here and I ended up living at, they told I've got a place for me in the village up there, just up the road here. Everybody lived in the village.
Yeah, they do when they first get here.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I was like, whoa, man, there was hot, sun shining, pretty girls everywhere. I've got my own apartment.
And you could walk to Mimi's from
here.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're like, this is, I'm not going back over there.
Swimming pool, you know, I was like...
You know, when I first came over, he says that, so you come to these apartments, it's got a gym, a swimming pool. It's like being in Spain on vacation.
No, exactly. I was taking pictures of my waste disposal unit and sending them to my mum. Hey, mum, look, I've got one of these things. I was like,
yeah, you're amazing.
I've got my own washing machine.
I know we're getting over for football, talking about the waste disposal machine. So,
oh my gosh,
there was a woman used to work for me in McKinney, and McKinney, the town square, the old town square, and her brother Billy used to live there. They're both from Sunderland. Well, Billy, we had a German fellow who used to come in the pub, and he's got the airplane that puts the banner on it, and Gerhardt, and he'd say, hey, Billy, do you want to come on the plane tomorrow? We've got a banner going around the square. Yeah, I'll get on it. So, anyway, when the morning of, it was below freezing, so they had to cancel it. Billy called Marie up about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. She's working at the pub. Hey, Marie, we're about to fly over the square. Come out and watch me. Okay, let me get me jacket. No, you won't have time. Would have gone past. So she goes down on the square, just got a blouse on, fucking freezing. And she's going, well, where are you, Billy? He said, we're nearly there. He dragged this on for about 10 minutes. She's literally freezing her tits off.
Yeah, waiting for
He wasn't in the plane. He was talking. He had the waste disposal on.
Yeah, there you go.
Good, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, no, that sounds like it.
All right,
anyway,
let's get back to the football.
Okay,
I want to wrap this up here. What are your expectations for this season for Leicester?
So I think if we can stay up would be... I know that's kind of a low bar, but...
That's it? You don't want it to go top half of the table? You don't think?
No, I'd love to go top half of the table, but we've just avoided, by having a good lawyer, avoided the points deduction.
That's what I'm saying. So now
I fear that may rear its ugly head again. You never know. It may not. I don't know. But yeah, if we could be in the top 10, that would be awesome.
Did you lose many players to...
So yeah, I mean, we when we got relegated, Madison went to Spurs, Dewsbury all went to Chelsea, our manager went to Chelsea, Barnes went to Newcastle. So
still got Vardy.
Yeah, we still have Vardy still scoring. Man. That guy's a legend. I mean, he's the GOAT for Leicester.
I do want to end by talking about Vardy for a second because I think that his career is arguably the greatest in football.
Yeah.
You think about coming from the 6th tier of English football, non-league football, Fleetwood Town, all the way works his way up to Leicester. Wins the championship, goes to the Premier League. I think he won a Golden Boot in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. So he wins a Golden Boot in the Premier League, England International, scores for England, wins the Premier League, comes back, wins the FA Cup, gets relegated, still with the club this entire time, and then leads them to promotion again back in the Premier League. is there a better career arc for one club man? I mean, he's not
I
one
don't
club
think
man,
so. I
but
mean,
like,
if you think about people chasing their dreams, when he was playing for Fleetwood, he was stacking cans in a supermarket
Exactly.
at the same time.
that was his job. He'd literally wake up and stack cans, and then he'd go play soccer at night like any of us would for a rec league. And he took
the other
that
thing
and
is,
ran.
I think the other interesting thing about it, when we won the Premier League, the other thing that he did as well, I think he holds the record for most consecutive
Games
goals.
scored in.
Yeah,
Yep,
games
most,
scored in.
the one against Man United set the record.
For Leicester or
yeah,
in
no,
general?
for
For the Premier League,
for
the most
Premier League.
consecutive games scored. I think he had
scored
11.
in. Yeah, 11 games he scored in every game.
I remember one game, the first time I saw him, that I've noticed him, he was playing against Manchester United.
Yeah.
Fuck, he was fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, he's just old
rapid.
school.
Yeah.
He's an old school footballer.
Well, he's
it's
a
like,
red-
chuck
he-
it over the top and I'm going to beat the guy. to the
It
ball.
was, but it also, what I liked about him, or still like, I don't know if he does it anymore, he puts the defenders under pressure.
Oh,
Before anybody used to do that, he'd always run at
He's
them
a
and try and do
bastard
it.
on the
And,
pitch.
Yeah,
He's
you know
a
he is, and he
bastard
loves
on the
winding up the
pitch.
fans as well.
Oh my god! I was against Palace a couple of years ago. He scored and he goes and mocks the Eagle celebration.
No, they were all asked because
I was hoping he would when he scored against Palace the other week. I was like, "Where's the celly?"
I listened to the Leicester City podcast every week, and that was a topic that came up. All the people were calling him, going, "How come he didn't do the Eagle?"
Yeah, he scored against Palace in a normal celebration.
I think the
Everyone's
other
like,
thing
"Why do
is
you take the piss."
The other thing for me about Vardy, which makes him a legend, which hate to throw words, but he is. Certainly in Leicester
He's a
City.
Premier League legend.
Premier League legend.
No
the other
doubt.
thing he could have, when we won the Premier League, all Arsenal, for example, he could have signed for a lot of teams, but he stuck with.
He stayed.
He stayed with Leicester, and so for that, if for nothing else,
You don't
he
see
will,
it much.
He will
you
forever
really hardly
be.
see that at all now. Especially a
loyalty.
player from one team. I'm hoping he actually retires and finishes, because some players, when they can't do it, they go to a lower league.
Yeah, you
just
wanna-
finish, leave it at
no,
that.
Yeah, and I think he'll probably do this year. He might do. Listen, if the guy can still run it, he's
still
scored 2
scoring
goals in
goals.
4 games already.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. If it depends, but as we all know, when you get older and you get an injury, it takes
One
a bit
injury
longer.
it might be easier just to call it at that point too.
But I think if we could finish in the top half, have a good run in the cups, we're still in. Well, the other FA hasn't started yet, but we're still in the
Carbo Cup.
Carabao. In fact, we're playing tonight, as a matter of fact.
I'm about to say those games today.
Yeah.
He just mentioned getting older.
Yeah.
Because I've known Nick for 30 years, really
Yeah.
coming in the pub. We obviously don't look the same as we used to. But I'll tell you, Ben, believe you me, and I swear to God, everybody tells you this when you're young. Oh, it goes so fucking quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%.
I'm only 26, and I remember, it's funny, when I was a kid in kindergarten,
Right.
I was at elementary school, and I remember seeing the 5th graders, I remember just thinking man, I'll never get that big.
Yeah, I know.
It'll take forever for me to get there. And then suddenly one day I wake up and I'm in 5th grade and I see the high schoolers and I'm like, oh man, that's so far away. That's so far away. And I'm in high school and it just
But it's like when you watch
goes.
some of these teams now, they look like I'm watching kids.
Yeah.
You know?
exactly.
Oh, you are. I mean, there's so much. Arsenal played a 17-year-old against Spurs on the weekend.
Yeah, I know.
And Wari, 17, and he made his debut at 15 in the 15. What were you guys doing at 15?
Having a wank.
Yeah, having a wank, making a
Getting a
debut in the
tattoo in
Premier
the
League.
schoolyard.
Yeah, doing dumb
Is that
shit.
15 years ago?
That was
the same.
I just had it retouched up because it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
faded.
beautiful.
In fact, the kids were, as they were growing up, they're like, "Oh, what's that, Dad?" And I was
Is
like,
there a
"Oh, it's the
story behind
Saint." No, the Saint. You remember the
I know
TV?
the Saint,
Yeah.
you just-
No, it was just
wanted a dumb
schoolyard
tattoo?
prank. 13
Yeah.
years old. So
Do you
I
know
did
that-
no, my mum didn't see it for the longest time. I was
Well,
showing, hey, look at this. My mum
there
was
was a-
behind me. She's like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, don't worry, mum.
man.
Put milk on
Yeah,
it.
cover it up, get rid of it.
John Cleese,
Yeah.
I remember one scene, and he's just sitting there, and he's talking to himself, and he's sitting there, he's gone, whoosh. What was that? Oh, that was your life, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. He said, oh, that was quick. He said, can I have another one? No, you only get one.
Damn.
And it's right, whoosh. What was
I
that?
liken it to a snowball.
Yeah.
Once you get
Once you
on
get
the top of the
rolling.
hill and you roll it down, it just picks up
Keeps
speed all the way.
When have Arsenal playing Leicester?
Actually, you're
I
on
think
next,
it's-
after
yeah,
Man City, you're
yeah,
on next Premier League
yeah,
game.
yeah.
So
Is
2
it?
weeks.
Where? At their ground?
I believe it's at home because
Yeah.
we've been on the
Yeah.
road for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're at-
You're going to drop points against them?
We haven't dropped points against y'all. anyway.
Actually,
I think we've beat
I've been
y'all the last
quietly
4
happy
appearances.
about. So when we started the first game against Spurs,
I love that.
I was like, man, we're going to get. We were like almost the first
dominated.
half.
They
Yeah, we should have been
dominated.
5-0
Should've been
down.
3-4-0 down.
But
The game should have been.
suddenly we weren't, and then
Yep.
we scored in the second half, and from that moment
You
on,
almost
so
won.
far, yeah, no, exactly.
You almost won.
So I feel like we're playing decent football now.
I
We
like your
shouldn't-
manager. I liked him when he was
Yeah,
in Forest.
Cooper. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's a
exactly.
good
So
personality.
we've lost some players, but we got some good ones too.
Yeah, no, you got a
So-
couple proper ballers, man.
So I think if we could,
Indeed, he looks serious again this
yeah,
year.
he does, and
looks
he was
serious.
with us in the Premier League.
Yeah,
He
he's
went
a guy
down,
that stayed
came up.
loyal too because he could have stayed up, gone to a different league. He's definitely a top tier player. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. So a lot could happen, but yeah,
I like it.
As you
Well-
said, you just got to stay up, really. That's all it is, isn't
if we
it?
can stay up,
That's-
if we can do better than that and
That's
move
the
up a
beginning,
bit,
yeah.
yeah.
So as you guys said, time flies. titles live forever.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you for your time today
Pleasure.
and being
Pleasure,
here.
guys.
We really appreciate having you on, and
Yeah.
best of luck to Leicester, except in 2 weeks when you play my Arsenal.
Fearless Foxes.
Can't
mate,
do
look
that.
out.
But I will always be rooting for you guys when you take points off of Spurs. Anyone that hates Spurs is a friend of
You know, we
mine.
get the Leicester Supporters Club. They go to Addison.
Yeah.
You ever been there with Charles and them?
No.
They get a good.
Oh, that was
Yeah, so maybe check it out sometime.
Shit, they gave me some pictures and a plaque to put up when they won the
League.
Premiership, and they want me to put it up. We very rarely put soccer stuff up, but when they won it, we have to.
You got to.
And I haven't
That's
done
such a
it.
rare
So
thing.
Charles, it'll be up this week, mate.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for our interview. Make sure you stick around. We'll be right back with Wanker of the Week. And again, a big thank you to Nick Barclay for being here today, sharing his story, sharing the passion of the game. And guys, make sure you get involved. If you want to come on and chat football with us, let us know. We're more than happy to have anyone on the show. So, Barry, comes down to this, Wanker of the Week. Would you like to start, or would you like me to start?
Fuck, I haven't even thought about it. Have you got one?
I got one. I'm going Big Ange. I'm going Big Ange because of his comments about how he always wins something in his second year. You know who else always won things?
So when he wins something this year, you're going to apologise to him?
If he wins something, I'll apologize. I'll apologize. But you know who else always won things? Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho. Spurs are the only club Mourinho's coached at, bar Fenerbahce, where he just started this year, that he didn't win anything at. They sacked him before a cup final that they lost.
See, now you've put me in a position. I've never wanted this in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I now want Spurs to win something. It's just to shut you the fuck up.
Oh, I mean, that would have happened. No matter
And the
what.
apology, you're going to get on your knees, beg, and sorry,
That's a
Ange,
little
sorry,
much.
Ange, sorry, all you Tottenham fans.
I would never.
What,
Y'all,
as an
all those
Arsenal fan,
Tottenham fans can hold that. We went to your ground, took over your ground. Your home, our playground, straight up. 3 straight wins at their place. I don't bring it. Like, genuinely bring it.
See, that's the thing about it. And see, now when Tottenham go to the Emirates,
Yep.
you lot used to, because Kane scored there every time he played
Yep.
there, I think. So, but
I've
they don't
actually
have
got-
anyone that does that anymore, do they?
I've got one more fun stat for you. With the win over Tottenham this weekend, Arsenal now have more wins at Tottenham's new stadium, which opened in 2019, than Tottenham have wins at the Emirates, which opened in 2006.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
So, yeah. That's...
So I was gonna, I was gonna get some stuff done. I had a payment coming through,
Mm-hmm.
and I checked my bank account, and absolutely fuck all.
hate that.
No, I mean it. I did.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in there. No big deal. I mean, I put my money here and
Yeah,
there. I never
moving
know
around.
what I got. And I was out the other day, and I had $5 left, and I thought, I can't. That's my last $5. I've got to
Yeah.
keep it. Then I remember what my mum used to say. When her and her mate, Lil Kelly, used to go out drinking, which they did,
Mm-hmm.
both in their 60s and 70s, they'd go out and they'd have £5 left. Oh, we're down to our last £5. Oh, bollocks. Give the cat the last goldfish.
That's beautiful.
That was it. So, yeah,
I
so
love
that's
that.
what I did the other day. I spent the last $5, gave the cat the last goldfish.
I love that. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, you
I'm going to
can,
start
okay,
using that.
yeah.
Do you have a Wanker of the Week, or are we ended on
No,
that quote?
I was trying to mask it by that story.
All right, we're going to mask it by that story.
Guys,
Guys, remember, if you got $5 left, give the cat the goldfish. We'll be back
the last
next
goldfish.
The last goldfish, forgive me. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Then that last $5
Big
at
games
the
this-
Londoner.
Big games this weekend. Yeah, come buy a goldfish at the Londoner.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys.